I'm Katie, over with Katie, and I am going to do as quick as I can, because I talk a lot, morning and evening skincare routine. Somebody asked me, an old school friend actually, we were chatting about some of the products that I work with and asking kind of questions on how to use them, and asked if I had kind of like a demo, which I know that I've done a short how to use Skincerity, but not kind of like my whole skincare routine. And so I thought I'd talk you through it because it's short enough to be made into a video. It's really not very interesting. I don't do a really detailed skincare routine. I don't have time. Oh, hold on, is that my baby waking up? It is. Okay, false alarm. It wasn't, but she will wake up at some point in this video. So I start off by tying the hair back because that always gets in the way. And that's that. Okay, not going to tuck the hair behind the ears. And I'm going to start off just by using a little bit of a cleanser. Where's the camera? I'm not very good at this. Just an FYI, if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that like I don't have a studio, I'm not a professional YouTuber. Like I was kind of dilly-dallying today over whether to wear my dressing gown or whether to put like a t-shirt on, but you know, then I thought, you know, this is real. This is about as real as it gets. I'm a mum of two. This is where I can't have a soak in the bath because my child wakes up like every 35 minutes. I digress. I'm going to take a cleanser. I like to use a cream or an oil or a gel or something that I can take everything off in one go. I probably use too much because I'm actually hardly wearing any makeup today. I really barely wear any makeup anymore anyway. That's partly to do with not having a lot of time, also to do with not really having anywhere interesting to go. But thirdly, this is very apt with everything that's going on, a lot to do with feeling very comfortable in my skin. Being a strong, proud, confident woman. Honestly, if somebody had said to me 5 years ago, A, you'll go out without makeup on regularly, but also B, you will stand here and remove your makeup, you know, on camera that you're going to put on YouTube, I'd have told you to get out of town. So I've massaged that in. As you can see, I've attractively spread my mascara over my face. That's all I was wearing today. It really is kind of mascara and eyeliner. And then I've got a washcloth. I've pre-soaked warm water and I'm going to wipe that off. Again, speed for me, speed and thoroughness. I don't ever skimp on cleansing. Like I don't use face wipes ever. I don't like cleansing milks. Some balms leave me a little bit bumpy. The Lido one works nicely for me. Some people don't like the plant extract. It doesn't bother me. Gets my skin quite clean. I've rubbed my face a bit hard, so it's a bit red. And there we go, that's my skin clean. I wasn't really, I think I wore a little bit of powder and bronzer on my skin today. I had no foundation on, I had no SPF. If I did, I would have done a double cleanse, but for the sake of speed, I'm not. And I always then, I don't ever use my muslin cloths or my flannels more than once, so that will go straight into the wash basket. And what I'm going to do now is just disappear from the shot and come back up, take a towel, just dry my skin. I'm going to exfoliate for the sake of showing you what I do. So this is one of our Nucerity products. So I work with Nucerity. I fell in love with Nucerity at the end of 2013 with one of the products called Skincerity, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And this is really kind of to showcase what we have in our products. So this is a liquid kind of gel exfoliator. It's got no grains. And what I'm doing, you just massage this over. I'm not going to start listing ingredients because you can go on to nucerity.com and easily find that. I should show how I use it. So you massage it in, and what it does is it just very gently kind of buffs off your skins, like your dead skin cells. It's not abrasive, it's not aggressive. My skin is really healthy. I know it doesn't look it, I know it looks a little bit like I've been trapped in a dungeon, but this is the colour that I go at this time of year. I go really pale and sallow, and I'm very, very hollow around my eyes. So I do look a little bit like Skeletor's wife. actually, you know, I exfoliate my skin regularly. My skin's hydrated. I drink a lot of water. So when I exfoliate, I don't get a ton coming off. When you do use this on people that don't exfoliate regularly, it really lifts off dead skin cells beautifully. I love it. It's also really good at rejuvenating kind of tattoos that are a bit old and faded. So I just take this off with a flannel, like that. It makes your skin feel really clean and really kind of ready to accept accept the skincare that you're going to put on. So I sometimes do this in the morning. Again, it depends on time. A bit of water. So my skin feels proper lush now. And if I was going out now, not that I would because it's like past 8 o'clock in the evening. Oh, times have changed. If I was going to put like a serum or a moisturiser on, my skin would, and my makeup sits beautifully on top. I keep losing the camera, where are you? Hello. So that is the Advanced Exfoliator, not available in the UK at the moment, but it will be at some point. But you can get it in America, Canada, Australia, and go on the website, newcerity.com, and it will show you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is IFX3, so this is lovely, this is our eye serum, whoops, and I'm going to take this around my eyes, like that, boom, 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 give it a little squeeze. This has got an ingredient in called arginine, amongst many other things, and that's amazing for kind of like, it's nature's, they call it nature's Botox, but it's basically a really good muscle relaxant. IFX3 is named because it works on 3 different signs of 3 different issues for the eye. So lines and wrinkles, so these, puffiness and dark circles. Okay, my dark circles are there regardless of whether I have any sleep. Not that I have any sleep. I have a 5-month-old and a 5-year-old. But what I find is when my eyes are really, really hydrated, I can conceal them a lot better. So I also took it between my eyebrows, and I'm going to take it across my top lip because I used to smoke, stupid cow, like that, okay? So I don't only use it around my eyes, I use it here. You see these, I had, before I started using these products, it was about 2011, 2010 actually. I am a makeup artist for bridal. I'm a bridal makeup artist. Come on, Katie. And I was. It was a comment by a photographer who said that I was in the background of a lot of the prep photos doing someone's makeup, and he said that I ruined it because I looked really cross and really angry, and I wasn't really cross and really angry. I was bloody concentrating because it's really hard work, and when I concentrate I do this face, which is not sexy at all, and what it left me with are these lines. So I not my finest moment, I found a Botox deal on Groupon. I didn't know any better at the time, and it was something, I can't even remember how much it cost, up in Harley Street, so it had to be legit, and it was for 2 areas in the face, and I thought I'm going to sort this out because, you know, nothing I was using was getting rid of them, and I was using some really high-end skincare, what with being in the industry and such. So I went in, I had this area done, so I had in between my eyebrows, and that kind of spread up to about here, and then you had a second area that you were entitled to have, and what I should have said is, I'm alright, thanks. Actually, the rest of my face is fine. But I went, oh, okay, free Botox, because it's, you know, I'll have it round here. Yes, it worked temporarily, and it worked quite quickly, that those lines kind of disappeared. I've never really had forehead lines. But what happened was, where this area was basically frozen, but I'm still very emotive when I talk, my face was still moving, but this whole area was kind of moving as a block. And I started to develop a secondary line just below my hairline, you know, because everything was moving, everything was frozen here. So I was left with a forehead line up here, and where I'd Botoxed here, when I smiled, I basically ended up getting like bunny lines here, really peculiar. So, you know, the minute that wore off, I vowed never to do that again. And I haven't needed to. So I'm 38, I don't claim to have perfect skin, but this is the product that's changed everything for me. I had never had amazing skin, to be honest. Growing up, I had two major two bouts of acne. So the first was when I was 9, which is highly unpleasant to be that age and have acne, and that lasted until I was 15. That festered on my face through the whole of primary school and half of my secondary school life, and then at 15 the doctor put me on the pill, which made me really cool, but also just completely cleared it up, which was amazing. And then I had really relatively good skin until kind of my late 20s, very oily, especially on my nose. My friend and makeup artist Katie used to joke that J.R. Ewing would drill for oil on my nose. That's how oily I was. And really open pored and just really flat and lifeless, but acne free. And then just before my wedding, so when I was at my late 20s, I got another bout, and you know, I've never really felt amazing about my skin until Skincerity. So I started using this at the end of 2013, and this is what you do with it. It's a liquid in a rollerball application, and you roll it on. It's really simple. So what does this do? Well, first of all, it stinks. I'm going to be honest with you. At first, it's the first thing I tell people about. When you roll it on, smell it at first, and then wait for it to dry, which it does in about 5 seconds, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then you smell it again, and that smell is gone. So this has got 5 basic ingredients. The first being acetone. Acetone, oh my gosh, I know, I hear you gasp. Don't behave yourself, it's fine. Calm down. I did exactly the same when I first looked into it. Acetone, that's ridiculous. Acetone is a ketone, it's produced in your body. It's not harmless. It is harmless, it's not harmful. It's actually the second safest solvent that you can use on your skin next to water, and it is here for a reason. First of all, it's antibacterial. So as I'm putting this on my skin, it's forming a mask, so you can see, if I go like that, terrible light. Basically, it's forming like a clear layer all over my skin. So it kills any bacteria off beforehand, so I'm not trapping bacteria under this. But secondly, as it dries, acetone, which is a gas, acetone wants to evaporate. It wants to kind of flitter off into the air. It doesn't want to sit on your skin, you know. And as it disappears into the air, it creates these tiny microscopic holes in this mask, which makes it breathable. Not your skin breathing, but it means that your oxygen can circulate around your skin. But those tiny microscopic holes are too small for any hydration to escape from. I'm looking in the wrong place again. So you put this on your skin at night, and essentially what happens is your skin rehydrates overnight. And overnight is usually when you dehydrate. That's why when you wake up in the morning you weigh less. As your skin dehydrates throughout the night, it kind of dries out. That's why anything like mozzie bites or eczema itch so much more overnight. My little girl has eczema on the back of her legs, and if I don't Skincerity her, I can hear her from the other room scratching at the back of her legs. It's awful. So you roll this on, it sets firmly like in a mask, essentially. That's what it is. And it feels, I love the feel of it. It feels tight, it feels firm. Quite often I will do it lying down so everything falls up, because at first, the first couple of days, it kind of felt weird. Now, I can sleep in it all night. It doesn't even bother me. I wouldn't be without it. It has changed my skin so absolutely completely, to the point where I'm going to try and do a video tomorrow morning to show you me taking it off, so you can kind of see my skin in daylight. It's not perfect, I'm exhausted. Like I said, I have 2 children. I'm on the later end of my 30s, but I will happily tomorrow, go out with a bit of concealer under my eyes and a bit of blusher, and that's my base. I don't need to put loads of heavy product on. I haven't got that texture to even out. I have, 0 lines. I really don't. I mean, I will happily get close up. I have a few little red splotches at the moment because I scrubbed a bit too hard, but that's that. Oh, I am going to put a little bit. I've got one dry elbow. Who knows? So, do that. Notice as well, I didn't put a night cream or anything on underneath this. If you were to use this for the first time when your skin was dry, you can use a moisturiser. Skincerity sticks like glue to really dry and dehydrated skin. My skin now is so hydrated that I can happily put this on top of my skin, and when I wake up in the morning, it's, my skin is so hydrated that I can literally get my finger and just sort of peel it off. I don't have to scrub it off. you can use this on your body. So you can use this on your face for lines, wrinkles, dryness, dehydration, acne scarring. You can use it for eczema and rosacea and psoriasis, stretch marks, bug bites. The list goes on. I might post a little bit of a link to, I might list them in the description bar if I remember. I won't remember. So I hope this has been helpful. One second. For the rest of my nighttime routine, I brush my teeth, and but tonight I'm going to have a cup of tea. I know, after 8 o'clock, a cup of tea, I'm wild. And what I do to go to bed, I protect my curls overnight. So I've got my mask and my glasses on, and then I put this long tube of material called a buff. I put it on my hair, and I basically pull it up so it kind of sticks up like this. It's really, really sexy, but I've been married long enough that it doesn't really matter. And that's that. I'm not going to show you that because I've got to have a bit of dignity. I hope that's been helpful. I'm going to show you tomorrow morning me taking this off and what I do kind of like moisturiser wise, and if I've got time makeup wise. So look forward to seeing you bright and early. I hope you get a better night's sleep than I'm no doubt going to, and thanks for watching.